Welcome to Mimio Training Quick Learn On Demand, MimioCapture Setup and Support. In this session, we will conduct an overview of the MimioCapture ink recorder, review the MimioCapture hardware, discuss how to connect and set up the MimioCapture, and then finally, how to begin using MimioCapture in the classroom. The MimioCapture ink recorder works seamlessly with your MimioTeach interactive whiteboard or the Mimio board in order to capture dry erase notes in real time without the use of a projector. Now, writing and drawings are captured digitally, enabling you to save, print, or modify those further using the Mimio Studio software. Again, the key part of this is that it's without a projector, and it gives you a lot of different options in that type of classroom to digitize whatever you use whatever you write on your board using the specially designed capture pins using dry erase markers. So if you have a previous version of the MimioCapture, whether it being the version that works with the XI system or the second generation, which does work with the MimioTeach, but it has a little bit different setup, just know that what you're going to see here will not matter. It will all work with every system. The software interface will work with every product. It's just a little bit different products that you use with the capture. So no matter what you have, it's going to work just perfectly with the software, allowing you to digitally capture whatever you might have on your whiteboard. So let's do a review of the MimioCapture system, and that starts with the charging tray. So the recharging tray here connects with a USB cable, simply connects right to your computer, and whenever that's connected, it's going to provide the charging ability to the 4 marker pins that come with the kit, as well as a digital eraser. So as long as those are laying in the tray, they're going to be charging. They're going to have some indicator lights, which we'll talk about here in just a second, a little bit more in depth, that will tell you whether or not they're charging, and you can see those green lights there. And then for convenience, you can also use the magnetic pin holder that comes with this, and that attaches to your still-backed whiteboard and allows you to put your marker pins in these holders so you have easy access right when you're on your board. So again, the recharging tray would be perfect to set on your desk, to charge these when they're not in use for a long time. And then if you are going to start using these in your classroom on a particular day, you can simply put the marker pins right there on your board and have easy access to using those right in your classroom. So let's talk about the pins and the eraser. Again, as I mentioned, there are some status lights on these in the erasers there on the end that will light up. And then on the markers themselves, it's out here on the end. So the lights indicate a variety of things. First of all, if it's off, that means the MimioCapture pin or the eraser, it's not getting power or the battery needs to be recharged. So you can easily rectify that by putting that in the charging tray and make sure the charging tray is plugged into a USB power source, your computer, or maybe even an AC adapter that you can plug the USB cable into a wall outlet. So whatever you have there. If it is a solid amber color, that means the MimioCapture pin or the eraser has a low battery situation and you need to get them on the recharger, just giving you a warning that they're going to die if you don't recharge them. And then obviously solid green means you're good to go. When it's in the charging tray, as you saw back here on this image, that means that they are charging, they're getting power, and they're going to be ready for you to use when you are ready to use them. So that is a little bit about the indicator lights on the eraser and the marker pins. Now, as far as loading the pins with the expo markers, there are 4 expo markers that do come with this. You can use any other expo markers with these. So all you have to do here is, let me zoom in on the marker end here, is you would depress a little button, a little tab there. And when you do that, this cap will, you can pull that right off. And as you do that, you will be able to, of course, remove the cap of the dry erase marker, and then you can insert that right into the pin here. Now keep in mind, there is a protective cap here on the marker pin itself. That will not stay in place unless there is an expo marker put in there. So as soon as that expo marker gets inserted in there and the end gets put back on, you can use this protective cap, and that will fit nicely on the pin itself, and that will help protect that. Now I would recommend that if you're not going to be using the MimioCapture pins for a while, a few days, maybe some weeks in between, I would highly suggest that you remove the expo markers and put their regular cap back on them, and that allows you to prolong the life of those markers. So this cap that does come with the marker pins will will do all right. It's just not airtight as the cap that comes with it is. So just a little tip there to help save some money on those Expo marker pens that you might be able to use there. So, and you know that these do come in different colors. They are red and other things. It doesn't mean you have to insert a red Expo marker in there. So just keeping in mind, as long as it's an Expo marker, that's what they're designed to take, and you can put those markers right into the pen itself. So as far as connecting and getting set up for this, it really couldn't be simpler. You can see in this situation we have the teacher has a MimioTeach there. She has her computer set up. She does have the magnetic pen holder on the board, fully ready to go with those pins. And then maybe on her desktop somewhere, she would have, maybe out of this picture, she would have the recharging tray. So when those pins aren't on the board, those pins could be in the charging tray so they're ready to go. And as you see here, there is no projected image going on. She's simply using the marker pens that have the Expo markers in them and just using the regular dry erase markings. And whatever gets written on the board is being captured right there on her computer in the Mimio Studio software. So again, the capture pins are ideal if you don't have a projector because they give you that ability to really digitize anything that you write on your board. As another use for this, you can actually take the MimioTeach and maybe put this on a student's desk. Maybe they're using butcher paper or other types of paper that they're writing on or drawing on. You can actually take the MimioTeach off the board as long as it's battery powered and go over to a student's desk, put it on the left side of their paper that they're writing on, and as long as they use these marker pens, whatever they draw or write will automatically be captured back on your computer. So it gives you a great way to dynamically capture not only when you're at the board, but you can actually remove and go mobile, and on any flat surface, on the floor, on their desk, whatever, you can be capturing as long as you have the MimioTeach and as long as you have the MimioCapture pins. Because again, whenever you are using those MimioCapture pins, they're automatically talking to the MimioTeach, which then converts that digitally to what you have on your computer. So just something to keep in mind as you start thinking about how else could you maybe integrate this. Again, another great thing that I like about this is that there are no batteries whatsoever that you need to worry about replacing. Everything has rechargeable batteries. When they are in the charging tray, they're taking care of business, so you don't have to worry about it, and they're ready to go when you are. So that's another great thing about this. So again, really all you have to do to set this up is plug it into a USB port, load your pins. If you want, go ahead and add the magnetic pin holder to your board, and you're ready to go. It couldn't be simpler. So as far as the mode that you have to be in when you start using these, and what's great about this is that MimioTeach is very smart. It knows which pins are being used as far as the MimioCapture pins or even the Mimio stylus that comes with the MimioTeach. So one tip I'll show you here is that you can very easily connect and disconnect. If it doesn't do it automatically, you can easily connect and, like I said, disconnect the MimioCapture by clicking on, let me use my screenshots here, then we'll do it live. You can click on the File menu while in Mimio Studio and come down here to connect and click on MimioTeach. And as soon as you do that, you're going to see an image that shows up on your screen, and that indicates that the MimioCapture mode is activated. So I mention this simply because if you don't have a MimioCapture or something is not working, you want to make sure that the image here is present or is not present, depending on what you want. So if you don't have the MimioCapture kit at all, or a teacher doesn't have that, and this is showing on your screen, you don't need that there. So again, to get out of that, in other words, to disconnect, you do the same thing. You go to File, you go down to Connect, and click on MimioTeach, and that image will go away as you see here. So let me do that live. So I have a MimioTeach connected and my MimioCapture kit. So I'm going to come up here to File, I'm going to go down here to Connect, and then over to MimioTeach. And as soon as I do this, you'll notice that I have a picture of the MimioTeach right here, and you'll also see down here at the bottom, it tells me I'm connected to MimioTeach, a MimioTeach device. So again, in this mode, with that image of the Teach there, it's expecting me to use the MimioCapture pins. Again, to disconnect, you do the same exact thing. File, Connect, and click on MimioTeach, and it goes away, and it's expecting you to be back in the interactive mode, which is using the normal stylus that comes with your MimioTeach. So just a little bit about how to enter and exit the MimioCapture mode if you need to. Again, what's great about this is that the MimioTeach will automatically recognize which mode it should be in depending on the pen that you're using. So if you're using the MimioCapture pen, digitizing dry erase markers, and then switch over to the Mimio Stylus, it's going to allow you to go ahead and use that Mimio Stylus and capture that also in your file. So you can kind of go back and forth if you choose to do that. Keeping in mind that if you are using your Mimio Stylus pen, more than likely you're not going to be able to see what you're doing because theoretically you don't have a projector. So keep that in mind. The MimioCapture is designed around you not having a projector in your classroom, so you can digitally collect everything also. All right, so let's talk about more about using this in your classroom. So again, as I mentioned, the MimioCapture does provide you that convenient access to digitally record anything that you write or that you draw on your board with these marker pens. Again, just to reiterate, not designed for a projector with a projector. Otherwise, you're going to see a dual writing. You're going to see the digital markings. If you have a projector on, you're going to see the digital markings showing up on your board via the projector, but you're also going to have the dry erase marks right on your board about the same area. So you're going to get a dual effect, and that's probably not too conducive to the learning process. So just FYI about what you're going to see there. So again, using the MimioTeach and the MimioCapture pens, you can also capture writing, like I mentioned, while you are away from your board, such as the case where I mentioned you can take the MimioTeach off of the board as long as it's battery powered and go anywhere in your classroom. And as long as you have the MimioTeach laying down and using the marker pens just to the right, anywhere to the right of the MimioCapture, it's going to digitally capture that. So it gives you another option of how to do some things in your classroom. As I mentioned, the capture mode will start as soon as you start to use a MimioCapture pen on the whiteboard or any flat surface. It's going to create a new page that will open up and record your ink, so it's going to create a new page in here. Now, there are some things, since you're not able to see what's going on with the projector, you want to be able to have easy access to erasing what you've captured, to saving what you've captured, even inserting new pages and copying pages. So it's relatively simple to do that. So in order to erase what you've captured, again, you use that MimioCapture pen that digitally erases the not only the dry erase marker on the board, but it also erases the digital markings in the notebook page that you've created. Now it's awfully easy for you to be able to for you to want to go in and erase that marking on the board with your hand or maybe a normal eraser. But keep in mind, if you do that, obviously it's going to remove it from your whiteboard service, but you're not transmitting any information from your hand to the MimioTeach. So it's going to stay in the digital file, and possibly if you start writing again with the marker pens, you're going to be writing over that. So just be aware of that, and you're going to be able to look at your computer screen possibly to see what's going on while you are doing that. Now to save any writing that you've done, you're going to create a new page before erasing. So to create a new page, as I mentioned here, you're going to press this bottom button. It's called the launch menu. You're going to press that and hold it until you hear a single beep. And as soon as you hear a single beep, you release it, and then a new page will be created in your file. And you'll be able to see that because the page will clear off. You'll see the page number down here, advance, and then possibly if you have the tab view on, which I don't currently, you're going to see a page be created over here in the tab view. So just a way for you to know that. If you would like to copy the page you're on, why would you want to copy the page? Well, it could be useful in creating a sequence, let's say, of writing or a sequence of images. Let's say you're showing the process of metamorphosis in a science class or something. So this could be an ideal way of you creating multiple pages and building upon a process. So to copy a page, you do the same exact thing. You press that launch button, you press and hold it until you hear 2 beeps, and when you hear that second beep, you release it, and you'll create a copy of the page, and then you can just keep building and building and building. So it gives you some options right there at your computer, and then obviously you can go back to your computer when you're done, and you can use any of the save methods. So you can come up here to File, Save, and you can save as not only an ink file, which you can use for a variety of formats, but you have the ability to save it as a web page if you choose, a number of useful graphic formats, including JPEG and GIF files, and then probably one of my most considered useful file formats, a PDF. So you can save that entire file or just pages of it as a PDF, and then save that on your school network. You can email that out to students that miss class or send to parents. You have a whole host of things that you can do once you save it into a format that you find useful. So there's lots of different ways that you can use the MimioCapture system in your class to, again, digitally record what you do. I encourage you to explore and find ways that you could benefit from that, and you'll definitely find positive uses for that. So as we finish off this session, we always try to give you some extensions for you to start applying some skills. So again, you want to get everything out of the box, connect it, get it powered, get those pins loaded with the expo markers and get them charged. Try to use your MimioCapture in alternate settings, like was mentioned, to record student work digitally, whether at the board or maybe at their desk or on the floor if they're drawing poster projects or something like that. Record those class notes, drawings. You can even not only record with your recorder system, the dry erase markers, but then you can use some of the features built in with the Mimio Studio and select it and convert all that handwriting into actual text, which then you can do some things. So check out some of our other Quick Learn sessions about doing that. And then, of course, we have a whole host of other Quick Learn sessions that you can learn from. So I encourage you to check out either the on-demand versions or our live versions, which are taught every night by expert Mimio teachers. So on the heels of that, we do offer a whole series of on-demand as well as online resources. We have a number of reference guides that you can download in PDF form to learn all about Mimio products and some of the basics of how to get things going. Of course, we have user guides to go along with the products. We have a number of video tutorials that are usually 2 to 7 minutes in length, very short snippets that get you up and running real quick on a lot of different things. And of course, we have our Quick Learn program, as I mentioned, both the live version and what you're watching now, the Quick Learn recording. So all of this you can find right at Mimio.com and go to training. I would also highly encourage you to take advantage of the Mimio Connect community if you're not a member already. Absolutely free to you. Thousands and thousands of lessons by hundreds of thousands of members currently that they're all sharing. It's a teacher-for-teacher site. There's much of the content that is aligned to state and Common Core standards, so I definitely encourage you to check that out. You can find that right there at MimioConnect.com. And then just to give you a little bit sampling of all of our current products, including the Mimio Teach, the Mimio Projector, allowing you to use dual stylus technology, the Mimio Pad, the Mimio Board. Of course, everything is possible because of the powerful Mimio Studio software. We have an iPad and Android app called Mimio Mobile, an assessment system, Mimio Vote, our document camera, and much more than Mimio View. And then while you are here, the MimioCapture Kit. So check those out. Again, you can find out more information by visiting Mimio.com. And with that said, I'd like to say thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out our other on-demand and online training options, and also keep interactive with us by visiting and being our members of our Facebook community, our YouTube channel, as well as Twitter. So we hope to see you soon, and thanks for joining me.